the mathematician suddenly discovered that finding an integer between 3 and 4 would allow time travel. But this claim completely overturned people's understanding. Everyone thought he had gone mad. The renowned genius professor was thus confined to a mental hospital. To make him give up on the idea, the psychologist spread candies on the table and asked him to show the integer between 3 and 4. No one expected that this act would indeed rewrite history. The professor quickly lined up 3 candies, but when it came to the 4th candy, he picked it up and put it down, his eyes becoming increasingly unfocused, his hands more frantic. He couldn't place it. The doctor hesitated for a moment, but ultimately exposed him mercilessly. The professor was enraged and overturned the table in a frenzy, shouting that something was stopping him from proving it. The doctor said, "I've been watching you the whole time. Nothing is stopping you." No matter how he explained, the doctor kept advising him to abandon the idea, even confiscating his paper and pen to prevent another emotional outburst. The professor was a bit dejected, but as he turned his head, he noticed a marker on the floor. He picked it up when the doctor wasn't looking. Before being taken away, he pretended to eat candies and grabbed a handful. Then he was taken to room 304. The doctor thought the professor was crazy, but something strange happened in the elevator. He noticed that the time from the 4th to the 3rd floor was significantly longer than to other floors. He felt a bit dazed, but quickly dismissed the thoughts forming in his head. He remembered the professor's illustrious career and felt a bit sorry. Such a brilliant mathematician. How could he go mad over such a ridiculous theory? He decided to go out for some fresh air to see if he could think of a way to treat the professor. Unexpectedly, as soon as he sat down at a bar, the peanuts on the table suddenly cracked open. Before he could react, he looked up and saw the professor writing formulas frantically on the window. The doctor hurried after him, but after turning into an alley, the professor disappeared, and a vintage TV mysteriously appeared, broadcasting an old news report about a man who died in a car accident. But the police couldn't identify him, as if he never existed. The doctor was puzzled, when suddenly a little boy appeared in front of the TV. Upon closer inspection, he realized the boy was his younger self. At that moment, a phone rang. The doctor awoke. It had all been a dream, but the call brought bad news. The nurse said the professor was in trouble, and asked him to hurry to the hospital. He found room 304 had never been opened, yet the professor had mysteriously vanished, leaving behind walls covered in equations. The doctor was stunned. He looked at the numbers in disbelief. A terrifying thought came to him. Had the professor really found that integer, and traveled through time? He picked up a pen cap from the floor. It looked familiar. Unlocking a long-buried memory, he suddenly remembered. When he was a child, his mom once drove him out, and accidentally hit an old man. At the accident scene, there was a marker without a cap, and some scattered bean-like items. Just as he was about to see clearly, the nurse interrupted him. 3 candies were already on the table. The nurse was about to eat one without asking. The doctor stopped him, but it was too late. The candy made a perfect arc, and landed in the nurse's mouth. In the next moment, the doctor was amazed to find the candies on the table were back to 3. Staring at the candies, he finally remembered. These were the candies scattered at the accident scene. The man his mom hit was the time-traveling professor. Because the professor was from the future, the police couldn't identify him. The mysterious force stopping the professor's calculations might have been death itself.